Hey everyone, it's Matt, your daily advocate or the underdog advocate. Thanks so much for coming back. It's great to see you. So where do we stand with the $1.9 trillion stimulus package and those $1,400 stimulus checks? A lot has been changing lately, so let me bring you up to speed with everything that we know as of now. Let's get into it. But hey, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Matt. Thanks so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. Also, make sure to share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, and social media so that we can help out as many people as we possibly can during this time. Again, thank you. All right, so where do we stand with this $1.9 trillion stimulus package? Well, let's think back. Remember on Sunday, just a couple days ago, we had that bipartisan group of senators meet to discuss the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Well, like I said in my other videos, this is a bipartisan group. There were 16 senators present, 8 Democrats, 8 Republicans. One thing that was interesting that was brought up is Susan Collins was there, and she brought up the fact that there's still $1.8 trillion of unspent money from the previous stimulus packages that were passed, right? So that's basically the whole price tag of this current stimulus bill that they are proposing right now at $1.9 trillion. So this same bipartisan group of senators is actually expected to meet once again this week to discuss and strategize a path forward for this next $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So in this meeting that they had the other day, they came out of that saying, you know, we talked about a lot of different things. There was a lot of great discussion, and it was a productive meeting, which is actually really, really good. So now we have to come together for this next meeting, which is scheduled for this week. At the same time, Chuck Schumer, who is the new majority leader in the Senate. He's the guy that took over Mitch McConnell's position, remember? So Mitch McConnell is now the minority leader. So Chuck Schumer is now the majority leader. But anyway, he was out in a statement saying that this is one of the priorities, this stimulus package is one of the priorities that Congress must accomplish within the next couple weeks. So again, there's a lot of people saying, hey, we need this next stimulus package. We need it quick. We need it now. We need it to be broad. We need it to be comprehensive. We need the extra support for all of the American people and all of this that is going on right now. So certainly interesting. At the same time, Joe Biden, yesterday, if you happen to catch my video from yesterday evening, Joe Biden was out. He was signing that executive order yesterday afternoon. And he had a little bit of a press conference afterward where he was taking questions from the press. And one of the statements he made in that speech he was making there was that he does not necessarily want to cherry pick any of the aspects out of the stimulus package right now, but rather he wants to pass it through as one massive comprehensive package. So that's kind of where we stand with when it comes to that. So essentially what he's saying is he doesn't want to do any standalone bills, but rather he wants to push it through as one massive comprehensive package. Remember, this is one of the issues that we had for a long time back in 2020. Nancy Pelosi kept coming together saying, hey, we want a massive, what was she saying at the time? I think it was $2.2 trillion that she wanted to push through as this massive comprehensive package. Remember that? And Mitch McConnell was basically saying, there's no way, we need something more targeted. Remember, that was holding things up for a very long time. Well, now Joe Biden is saying, yep, we want a comprehensive package. However, I'm willing to negotiate. So we still need to work through the negotiations on that. Like I've been saying in some of my other videos, there will absolutely be negotiations. Even though it's coming through at this $1.9 trillion number right now, there's no way it's going to be pushed through as that if they go through the negotiation process, simply because they're going to add, they're going to subtract, they're going to adjust some of the price tags on different aspects within the package. So we'll have to see what it actually shakes out to be. But that's kind of where we stand. At least they're willing to negotiate, which is actually really important, right? So at the same time, Joe Biden was also out saying that he would be willing to negotiate the income thresholds on the next round of stimulus checks. So now when I say income thresholds, don't let that worry you. Now when I say income thresholds, I mean for people who have high earnings. So the reason for that is there's a lot of people kind of pushing back right now saying, hey, why is a family earning $300,000 a year getting stimulus checks, right? Those people, like the argument is those families don't need stimulus checks. So that's kind of what people are saying is, hey, we need to adjust the income thresholds, not for the low income individuals, not for those people who are low income, fixed income, like on Social Security, SSI, VA, RRB, like all those people. They're not saying on the lower income, but rather the higher income is where they want to bring down those thresholds so that less people are getting these stimulus checks. Now, again, too, it's not going to influence the lower income individuals. So, again, I just want to make that very clear. If you're someone receiving Social Security or SSI or VA or RRB, please don't worry about that. When it comes to the income thresholds, you're likely going to be within the parameters, like definitely within the parameters of who they would send these stimulus checks out to. Again, something else this would do, if they lowered the threshold on the income, it would also lower the price tag on the overall package because it would be eliminating quite a few people who would otherwise be eligible to receive it for maybe themselves and their kids. So it would be eliminating a lot of people, ultimately lowering the price tag on the stimulus package, which a lot of people are having a problem with right now, right? So another thing too, a lot of you are probably wondering, when are we going to see it? When are we going to see this thing passed? When are we going to see the $1,400? Can you give us a timeline? Well, not only do I not know the timeline, but here's what a few things that I can tell you based on the research and some of the quotes that I've seen and some of the deadlines that we have coming up. And that is on March 14th, that is when the unemployment benefits expire once again. So remember that $900 billion stimulus package that we passed back in the end of 2020, the $900 billion? The deal with that was that extended unemployment benefits out until March 14th. Well, there's no extension beyond that as of right now. Also, there's that the eviction moratorium. That expires the end of March. So the point is, there's most likely going to be the passing of this $1.9 trillion stimulus package sometime well before March 14th, simply because they're not going to allow the unemployment benefits to expire once again, unless things change very drastically within the economy. Well, let's be honest. Are things going to change very drastically over the next 7 weeks in the economy? I mean, let's just be real. Probably not, right? So they're most likely going to extend those unemployment benefits once again. Well, how is that going to happen? It's going to happen through the next stimulus package, right? It's going to be wrapped up within there. So, worst case scenario, we'll see this thing probably passed in mid-March. Again, that is absolute worst case scenario. There's a lot of people who are saying that this thing will likely be passed probably in late February. Again, that's not that far away. That's only a few weeks away. Realistically, here we are in late January already, right? So February is really, honestly, it's far, considering there's a lot of people who need the benefits immediately. But really, when it comes to Congress, they move incredibly slow. However, there is a bright note on all of this, and let me tell you what that is. So everybody knows Bernie Sanders, right? So he's been out saying that they are going to use the reconciliation process to get this bill passed. So basically what this is, it's a process in which they can use reconciliation to get this thing. Basically what it is, it's a way that they can jam the package through and get it passed through the Senate with 51 votes versus getting bipartisan support where they would need the 60 votes in order to get it passed. However, here's the little bit of not controversy, but contradicting statements that we have here, is we have Joe Biden coming out saying, yep, we're going to go with bipartisan support on this thing. We're not going to use reconciliation, but rather we want bipartisan support, and we want to get this thing passed through the Senate with the 60 votes that it's required to get through the Senate. Now, on the other hand, we have Bernie Sanders coming out saying, no, that's not happening. We're going to use reconciliation, and we're going to jam this thing through next week. So we have people coming out saying that they are ready to push this thing through and introduce it onto the floor next week through the reconciliation process. Well, if that's the case, if they introduce it to the floor next week with this reconciliation process, realistically, it could get passed through in a matter of a week, right? It wouldn't take all that long because we know that the House would pass it. We know that it would go to the Senate. It would get the 50 votes that it needs, plus the extra one from the vice president to push it through the Senate, and then it would go to the president for a signature. So my point is, worst case scenario, not even worst case scenario, if they really, really wanted to, they could get this thing passed within about probably a week and a half from right now. Realistically, if they brought it to the floor early next week, it could probably be passed and everything good to go by, about a week later. I mean, just because it's a process, right? Everything takes time. Everything is a very slow process, but realistically, if they really wanted to, they could have this thing passed and signed by the president in less than about 2 weeks at the most, if they absolutely wanted to. So we'll have to see how they approach this. Do they actually go forward with the bipartisan support, which is going to take a little bit longer? It's going to require a lot of negotiating back and forth, adding, subtracting, refining the final total, the final cost of the bill. There's going to be a lot of revisions within there. It's going to take longer to go that process. Or do they decide to just throw in the towel and say, nope, we're going to go with the reconciliation process and we're going to jam this thing through as quickly as we can? So we'll have to watch that. But, a lot of people have been saying, hey, we want to get this thing passed as quickly as possible. I think a lot of us over the last few weeks here, we're kind of leading up to this thinking it's going to be done by the end of January at the rate that they were moving and what they were saying. A lot of us were probably thinking, yeah, we're going to get this thing jammed through by the end of January. Well, here we are, the end of January, and there's no way that's going to happen. But could we possibly see this thing within early to mid-February? Possibly. I mean, there's a real possibility of that. So either way, I wanted to bring you up to speed with everything going on. Like I said, a lot has been changing lately. It's going to be another busy week with executive orders. I'll continue to be here for you. I'll keep you posted, and I'll just continue doing whatever I can to be here and to help you out in any way possible. So enjoy your day, everybody. Thanks again for your continued support. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't done so, and feel free to share the videos with your friends, family, and social media. Thanks again, everybody. Your daily advocate, the underdog advocate, signing out for now, and I'll catch you later. Thanks. See you soon.